up, man? Congratulations on the victory.
Thank you very much.
Did you see that going that way? Did you think you were going to get the finish on the floor? Or did you think it was going to take a little bit longer? How did you see the fight playing out?
No, I had kind of set in my sights that it would be second round. I expect them to still have a bit of lacklustre in that first round, you know. Still his experience would be there, but eventually what would happen is it would just wear on him, and ultimately his muscles would gas up, and I would just impose my will.
Everyone knows his legacy and what he's done in this sport. So, in a weird way, to make a man like that tap to strikes, is that a special achievement in itself? You know how tough he is, so to break him like that.
Yeah, we've seen that in my last fight, where he just manages to muster up, and he just keeps rolling and rolling, and he manages. He's like a phoenix. He rises from the ashes, and to get him into that position, and even though he was trying to get out, I could just feel like, no, this is my time, and I was just like, I remember like thinking to myself like, when is this going to get stopped? And then eventually he tapped. But that's the sport of MMA. Some you win, some you lose. But green light.
And did you appreciate the finger up the bum, or would you rather done without that?
You know, to get fingered off MD's an experience, but to get fingered off Shogun Rua is something that will be forever ingrained into my butthole.
Maybe get a signed photo.
Signed picture, he fingered me. Normally you have to take somebody out for a meal to get. You know what?
At least a
stinky dig, you know what I'm saying, Schmo? You know what I'm saying, my man? Get any dirty digits.
Congrats, mate.
Thank you.
Both things, the fight and the fingering.
Paul, over here to your left.
How you doing, my friend?
Very well. Great performance, man.
Thank you.
What was the biggest difference between the last time you fought Shogun and now? Why did you look this much better?
We took that fight in 2 weeks' notice. We had a cut above our eye, so sparring in 2 weeks never happened. Conditioning didn't happen. We enjoyed too much of the old Scottish ale, too much Scottish whiskey after our last fight camp, and then we took that in 2 weeks' notice. But I'm not putting that down to saying that like I wasn't in shape, because I clearly was. I just didn't have the gas tank that I would normally have. So moving on in this year, in a year, I levelled up in the worlds of conditioning, cardiovascular output, skill set levelled up, whereas a year in Shogun's life, he just gets a little bit older and he loses what makes him him. And the longer we go on in this sport, the more and more he loses of being that Shogun Rua, the legend with the knockout power. Now, I was happy to take some of these shots. Like I was willing him to come on, and I could hear my corner banging and telling me to get my hands up, because he's still Shogun Rua, and he still has that one-punch knockout power.
Absolutely. How much pressure did you feel coming into this fight? A lot of people on the internet were saying if Paul Craig doesn't look good and convincingly win this fight, then where's he going to go? Were you hearing some of this or thinking some of this, that you needed to win and win impressively?
No, but I'm thinking about it now. You've just wasted. Nah, I'm only kidding. Listen, it's one of these things. The sport, people are always looking for that next match. People are always like, right, where does Paul Craig go to? And I think stylistically, I match up pretty well with MD in the top 10 division. We've seen that where I can pull submissions out in the last minute. I think I've got 2 late submissions. I think I'm 1 in 5. One against Ankalaev and number 5 with Kennedy and Nchukwu. So I can pull submissions out when I'm getting pieced up, and I'm able to piece people up. I'm able to outstrike them. I'm able to out-grappling them. You know, every year I get a little bit better, a little bit handsomer. My hair starts to fall out as well. You know, that's going to happen. You know, but if I looked as good as Shogun Rua, I would definitely stop it right now, because my coach's sister sent him a message and said, tell Paul not to piece him up too much because he's very handsome.
Nice. How do you rate your performance here? 1 to 10 or 8 to F?
You know, that's not for me to decide. I'm just there to get the victory. Me as a performance guy, it doesn't matter. It's my coach's job to analyse that performance and see where we could be better and see how he can then take me forward. I'm just the fighter. He's the brains behind this. But I will tell you this. He has been cheating me the last 2 days at chess. I have pieced him up every day, this full camp, and he then watches a TV show and comes in and checkmates me in like 3 moves, 4 moves, and he's running wild. So any people out there that get chess skills, give me some advice.
Absolutely. Last question. I know you don't really call people out, but can you throw out a couple of names of fights that you think might be interesting for you?
You know, as I said, I match up well with MD in that top 10 division. My grappling ability, guys like Johnny Walker are a good fight for me. Very, very explosive, very, very wild. But I feel stylistically he makes mistakes and I can capitalise on that. Not only that, we've got Misha Surkinov as well, who's a grappler, and I think that'd be quite an interesting fight. When two grapplers normally meet, it normally turns into a slugfest. And then we've got guys like Glover Teixeira, you know, took out Shogun Rua. Could we get another legend out this game?
You're looking like you're on your way to becoming one. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Paul, right here. What did you say to Shogun after the referee stopped the fight?
You know, I thanked him because ultimately I don't get to pick this fight, and the matchmakers have some influence, but ultimately Shogun Rua decides who he fights. He is the legend, and he says, yep, I'll take this fight. And in his head, he must have felt after that first camp that he was like, right, I can win this. And I watched that fight back for the first time a couple of days ago when the UFC put it up on their social media, and I was like, watching it, I felt good. My efficacy was through the roof.
Have you ever made an opponent tap to strikes in your career? I know you submitted guys, but like Shogun quit.
No.
To strikes.
I know. It sounds really horrible when you say that, Shogun quit. When you've got a guy who's 100 kilograms lying on top of you, digging his crotch into your back after you've just fingered him, sometimes you just need to tap.
Paul, congrats on the victory. Just one question. Yesterday, you were really intense as usual with the stare downs. You put on the war paint. What did you see in the legend Shogun's eyes when you're staring him down?
You know, every time I put on that war paint and I go into their personal space, I see fear. You know, when the English stood against the Scots at Bannockburn, when they done the same at Stirling Bridge, they shat it. And I seen that in him, and that's why he put his hands up to stop me from coming into his personal space, because he didn't want to feel my presence in there.
Braveheart, top 5 all-time movie.
Yes, beautiful. Now, here's the thing. I don't think you might know this, but the battle at the end of it, that's not how it happened. It was never ever fought on a field. What we done is, being Scottish, we're a wee bit snidey. What we done is we let them cross a bridge, dismantled the bridge, slaughtered half of them, slaughtered the rest of them with the other side. Well, we're sneaky wee suckers. Thank you. I like the fist. You like, yes.
Paul, anyone else from Scotland training with you that we should look out for?
Yeah, you know, I've got my team there. I've got guys like Jordan Strong, who is making his pro debut. We've got guys like Michael Blair. The lightweights, there's middleweights there as well. You know, there's some powerful guys coming out of Scotland all over the country. MMA in Scotland and UK and Europe has seen this massive rise, and it's great to see, and to be at the forefront of that, and to be one of the only Scottish fighters in here doing as well as I'm doing. It makes me proud to represent my country.
Absolutely. One of the guys at your gym, John McElroy, has spoken well of you every year after year. I wanted to let you know that. Yeah,
he's a good guy, man, and I enjoy tapping him. He makes these lovely noises when you tap him. He goes,
I'll tell him that.
We call it a gymgasm.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Listen, thanks very much, guys.